Hi, and welcome to the Happiness Coach podcast. My name is Lori Brandt, and I am the Happiness Coach. I believe our natural state is peace and calm, and the only thing keeping us from living life from that centered space are our limiting beliefs. It's my understanding that thoughts like, I'm not worthy, I'm not safe, or I'm not enough can be eliminated. Once revealed and questioned, they begin to lose their hold so that our natural state of greatness can rise up and into our present day experience. On this podcast, you'll listen in on real life coaching calls, interviews with leading experts, and open discussions exploring limiting beliefs and their transformation. If after listening you found it interesting or helpful, please follow and share. If it inspired you to consider becoming a life coach yourself, visit my website for upcoming ICF-approved life coach certification training dates at www.loribrandt.com. All right, let's jump in and get started. We have become a society driven by outside circumstances, relationships, and acquisitions because our awareness has drifted away from our natural state of peace, love, and happiness. Changing the focus of our awareness from the outward to the inner can connect us with who we really are and eliminate our desire to seek fulfillment through outside experiences or circumstances. We were born into this world with the ability to recognize the magnificence that surrounded us. We understood that we were already supported, abundantly provided for, and everlastingly loved. We are born lovers, freely, fearlessly, and spontaneously engaged with reality. That magnificence has never arrived, nor will it ever leave. We will never be separated from it. It's like grace. It will linger and swell with the simplest of invitations. It is not something to be obtained, acquired, or something to be wrestled to the ground, but instead the access point where the outer and inner are no longer separate, where freedom and creativity infuse the human condition, and where a sense of peace, calm, and happiness permeate our perceptions. It is a state of being that exists within all of us, and we are one with it in the alignment zone. So what am I talking about when I say the alignment zone? The alignment zone is a state of being where we can detach from the physical and mental conditions of the body and instead, as awareness, observe freely and clearly our experience as a physical being interacting with reality. In the alignment zone, we can detach from perceived limitations, choose how we wish to respond, and recognize the magnificence that exists within and around us. Living life from the alignment zone is like opening the dams of greatness and allowing it to flood your physical form with universal love. When you're all filled up like that, you don't need anything different than what is. You don't require anything to change either. That means all of your attention can tune into the present moment. If your attention's not being drawn outward to get something or do something, achieve something, then you can completely be present with what's going on right in front of you. You're able to observe and appreciate what's happening clearly from the internal perspective of universal love. How would that feel? How would your life be different if you were feeling all full and satisfied? How might your day be different if you embodied that freedom, that power, that inner joy? How might you react at the long line at the grocery store or stop and go traffic? How would you handle something like this coronavirus? Well, guess what? This magnificence that I'm talking about, that is you. That is your natural state. Greatness, universal love is who you are. You don't have to achieve anything, acquire, develop, learn, purchase anything outside of yourself to experience any of that fullness. What you need to do is tap into it, align with it, draw your awareness to it. And I refer to that as the alignment strategy. I would love to walk through the alignment strategy in an example as it relates to the coronavirus, because it's all in our minds. If you're like me, I'm almost feeling a little bit of extra pressure around the forehead of my being. It's there's just so much information. There's just so much to process. And I just wanted to relay a strategy that I call the alignment strategy that helps you stay in alignment while you are maneuvering through this challenge of being off work, being home with the kids, trying not to get, too worried about what's going to happen, what you need to do, and really have the opportunity to experience what's going on right now in this world from the alignment zone, where you will be able to maintain alignment. You can continue to maintain connection to your natural state of peace and calm. Be able to listen to the information that you're hearing and be able to make decisions based on facts and not get caught up in the incessant thinking or worrying. The alignment zone. The alignment zone is a state where I try to stay as much as possible during my day. It's where I can observe my experience without attaching to negative thoughts or limiting beliefs or emotions. And instead, I'm able to perceive my experience from the natural state of peace and calm that exists within all of us. That's when I'm aligned with my true self. Now, if I get pulled out of that state of being by attaching to a limiting belief or resisting what's happening in the moment, I can then choose, using the alignment strategy, to draw my awareness back inward, back into alignment, back into the alignment zone. And so this process of being in alignment, observing myself moving out, but then acknowledging it, choosing to draw my awareness back in, it becomes like a free-flowing dance. And so the idea is that I don't live my life believing that I'm going to become enlightened one day and then I'm done. It's not like that. In my experience, it has been this gentle flow in alignment, out of alignment, in alignment, out of alignment. And it's all about drawing this awareness to where my attention is being either it's in alignment with my natural state or it's being drawn outwards. I just want to make it clear, though, when I'm saying moving in or out of alignment, there actually is no moving. The true essence of who we all are, who I am, it's everywhere. We can't escape it. We can't move toward it. We can't move away from it. I use the word move to try and describe what the experience is like, not to indicate what is actually happening. So to move away from the alignment zone is kind of like reading an eye chart at the optometrist's office. The big letters are super clear. But as you make your way down to the bottom row, the letters become difficult to see. You haven't gone anywhere. The letters are still there. It's just harder to make it out. And that's the same thing with alignment. The further you get drawn outwards by attaching to a limiting belief, the blurrier the true essence of who you really are becomes. And so, this alignment strategy is about drawing awareness to when you are moving out of alignment and drawing yourself back in. This happened one day when I went swimming. I was using the railing, inching my way to the ramp, to get into the public pool. And I noticed that the tile underneath my left foot was really slippery. Now, in that moment, I observed my attention shift from being inwardly focused to being outwardly focused. I went from noticing the temperature of the water, the cold air on my skin, the smoothness of the rail, the echoes of the voices in the pool, to focusing my attention on my mind's thoughts. I began to project what might happen. I imagined slipping and falling. I even imagined breaking a bone in the aftermath of having to deal with that. I projected not being able to swim anymore, and that the muscular dystrophy would progress as a result of not being able to exercise. I observed that my legs felt weak, and they were like shaking slightly. I noticed my heart beginning to race, my body tense, and fear started to rise up. Now that all happened, bam, in an instant. My negative stream of thought and physical sensations of discomfort, fear, and weakness were letting me know that I was moving out of the alignment zone towards resistance. Now, by tuning into the signs that my awareness had shifted, I was able to draw it back in, wait for peace and calm to embrace me, and then consider my options from that state of clarity and openness. I was enlightened, then not enlightened, and then enlightened. So I was in the alignment zone, then I was out of the alignment zone, and then moved back in. I, as awareness, was dancing with my mind. I used the alignment strategy to move back inward and realign with my true self and perceive my experiences wholly, completely, and clearly as the beautiful gifts that they are. So what I'd like to do now is just use these next things that I'd like to share with you, the 7 steps to moving yourself back into the alignment zone as it relates to the coronavirus. The coronavirus outbreak is an example of how outside circumstances can trigger emotional reactions and behavioral responses linked to our past. Now, when I look around, watch the news, or read about the accounts of individuals kind of maneuvering their way through this uncharted territory of a pandemic, it's really fascinating to me how some people are going about their day as though nothing has changed, and others are absolutely petrified of running out of toilet paper. Discomfort and stress are the first indications signaling the presence of active limiting beliefs. Now, some people have a really difficult time imagining that it's possible to be in the middle of a pandemic and not be stressed out about it. It is, however, absolutely possible to experience the coronavirus outbreak from a state of peace and calm by staying in the alignment zone. By perceiving the outside world from an aligned space, individuals are able to take in information from the outside, consider the facts, and then act consciously and clearly from a place of love and compassion. For instance, if I maintain alignment with my true self without attaching to any particular thought, I can separate or filter the information clearly, objectively, and with understanding. If the health experts advise everyone not to travel unless absolutely necessary, then that seems like a reasonable, clear choice for me as it relates to me traveling. I won't do it. That feels loving. It seems loving not to expose myself to the virus unnecessarily, and it feels loving to reduce the possibility of spreading the infection to those at high risk of experiencing complications, right? If the health experts suggest that it is now safe to travel, then since they are the experts, that seems like a reasonable, clear choice for me as it relates to me traveling. By using the alignment strategy, I can bring awareness to the facts and determine my behavior as it relates to the present moment, clearly from the loving essence of who I really am. I was going on a trip, and then I wasn't going on a trip. If I experience discomfort, stress, anxiety, fear, worry, that's letting me know that a limiting belief or beliefs have been triggered and I am responding based on my past. Now, let's say, for example, I was planning on going away for school break with the kids. Tickets were purchased, bags were packed, and millions of fresh, clear images of me sitting on a lounge chair, sipping margaritas on the beach were definitely on my mind. However, let's suppose I hear the announcement that the government has recommended that no travel be taken outside the country. Now, how I move forward from that moment on has less to do with the announcement and everything to do with my interpretation of it. Will I maintain alignment in the alignment zone and respond clearly and calmly? Or will I attach to limiting beliefs and move out of the alignment zone? The important thing to remember here is that even though I may initially struggle with the idea of the change in travel plans, I can at any moment choose to move myself back into the alignment zone. Now, here's how I might do that in 7 steps. First, you want to recognize when you're feeling discomfort or negativity because it's necessary to acknowledge that. I would take a second and just check in. I would bring awareness to my body and tune into my emotions. By recognizing the disappointment that I was feeling and how it was showing up in my body, I could consciously determine that my reaction, sadness, the shoulders slumping, face drooping, disappointment, was reflective of triggered limiting beliefs. I know instantly that I had attached to limiting beliefs in that moment, that I had moved away from clarity and was less accurately able to recognize the facts. Identifying, therefore, that I had moved out of the alignment zone, I could then consider not making big decisions in that moment and instead choose to wait until I had moved myself closer to or back into alignment. Instead of running out wildly to Costco to buy 3 packages of toilet paper, I might wait until I could make a reasonable list of necessary items to maintain, say, isolation for 2 weeks. Now, the second thing I would do is I would isolate any thoughts that I was thinking that I was believing to be true. I would bring awareness inward to the thoughts my brain was processing. In a triggered moment, my mind narrowly interprets the available data out there. Something like a pandemic is so unusual that, almost initially, it may not even elicit a strong response because it's not really similar to any experiences that I've already had. But by sitting quietly, paying attention, and observing any shift out of the alignment zone, I may be able to identify and pick up on any thoughts that are linking to other thoughts and then connecting to limiting beliefs. So some of them might be, let's see if some of these are coming up for you. I spent all that money. Will I get my money back? Will our insurance cover us if we still go on vacation? I really need a vacation. Everything always happens to me. Can I catch a break? I didn't need this right now. I needed the vacation to de-stress. Not going on vacation that is already paid for is a huge waste of money. I needed the vacation for my mental health, or maybe the thought going on vacation would have increased my family time. All those thoughts are just incessant thoughts that kind of connect to each other and one after the other and feed each other. By writing those thoughts down, it's going to give your brain the opportunity to stop processing them and allow you the opportunity to use other tools to transform and help move yourself back into the alignment zone. You know, the greatest gift of the pandemic, really, it seems that it can't be ignored. It really is preventing mine and your brains from remaining on autopilot. It's kind of like kicked us out of gear, and it's bringing up our limiting beliefs and fears to the surface. And that is a true gift because we can then work on them. They're moving from the subconscious level to the conscious level so that they can be seen and dealt with. Next, what we want to do is isolate any strategies that you're using or that I'm using to deal with the emotions. The emotions that are triggered by a limiting belief creates discomfort. And then our brain will often implement a strategy or respond behaviorally to try and get rid of it. By bringing awareness to how we are behaving at the signs of discomfort, we can identify old, outdated strategies that may no longer be serving us. Now, in the past, I would have continually just processed stressful thoughts surrounding the pandemic incessantly to the point where I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd go to bed, I'd be thinking about it. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd still be thinking about it. Now, I would do something different. I would probably ask myself, okay, have I responded like this in the past? What does how I'm responding, does it remind me of anything? Am I responding in a habitual way, a strategic way that I often respond during stressful times? Now, if my closet has 100 rolls of toilet paper in it, chances are the answer is yes. By bringing my awareness inward, recording my thoughts, emotions, and the strategies that are playing out, I can use the information to transform the old limiting beliefs. I may not do it all right now, but by writing it down, it allows me to do the work later. Now, next, what we need to do is we need to find new, more positive thoughts that embrace an alternate perception. Okay. If my incessant thinking continued to draw me further and further away from my natural state of alignment, I could draw myself back into the alignment zone by entertaining more positive thoughts or perceptions. Now, some alternate positive perceptions could be, I'm glad I found out now before I was at the airport that I shouldn't go on a trip. I'm not going to get a sunburn. I avoided being stranded in a foreign country. That could have cost me a lot of money. So in fact, finding out now that I shouldn't travel is a great thing. Staying home actually is less stressful because I'm around my own things. I'm familiar with the country's healthcare system. So it actually brings peace and comfort to me to be home during a pandemic. Not going on vacation saves me money because I'm not going on all those excursions or drinking all that booze that I was planning on drinking. Not going on vacation improves my health because I'm able to stay home in my home and not have to risk being open to all the people who are traveling and all the viruses that they're carrying. With each alternate positive thought, I'm able to move myself closer to being back in alignment. So with each positive thought, it helps draw my awareness back inward so that it can be aligned with my natural state. But the thing is, just like positive affirmations, they're not that powerful unless we can find some proof, some support that really kind of anchors them in that they absolutely are a good positive alternative. So what I do is I try to find examples of how the alternate perspectives were just as valid, or not, may even be more valid than the original negative thoughts that I had been processing earlier. So for example, it can be less stressful not going on vacation because there's no need to deal with long lineups, or, that virus screening when we get back. I wouldn't need to concern myself with whether or not airports were closed. Another alternate perception would be that staying home helps me avoid the cost of canceled flights and increased healthcare costs abroad. Staying home improved my health by not exposing me to the virus in the airport or avoiding jet lag, let's say. So by finding examples, I can empower the alternate perceptions so that they can stand up against the emotionally charged limiting beliefs of my past. All right. Next is mirroring. Sometimes more insight can be gained by drawing awareness to any judgments or criticisms that I may have about other people, or that you may have about other people or other situations. So for example, if it was me, let's say, people are overreacting. That's a projection. I'm projecting onto other people what I think that they are doing that is wrong, that they are overreacting. Or let's say people are stupid. So if I said people are stupid, that's a projection. I am projecting outward with using criticism or judgment that people are doing something that they shouldn't be doing. Now, with each projected thought, I have the opportunity to record and reflect how I may have been overreacting, or when I may have overreacted in my past. Because any projection is letting me know what I am most resisting. That if I'm saying they're overreacting, that thought is a limiting belief, and it is drawing me out of alignment. So in this case, the overreacting and feeling stupid, chances are there is an instance in my past when I overreacted and people treated me in a way that I felt stupid. and I can think of a couple of them. I'm not going to go into them here, but it's really insightful for me because those projections that I was projecting on other people had everything to do with me and nothing to do with them. It was part of my limiting beliefs. It was part of what was drawing me out of alignment. Now, the last thing that you can do to help either maintain your alignment in the alignment zone or to draw yourself back is to think, speak, feel, and behave positively using all the tools and information that we previously discussed. So what I could do is I would repeat a running dialogue of how staying home would be the best thing that could ever happen to me. So let me just say, I wrote a little here. It's kind of like a mantra. And what I would do is I would just start repeating those positive phrases to try to shift myself back into alignment. It might sound something like this. Staying at home would be less stressful. I would not have to concern myself with being quarantined when I got back, and I could enjoy social distancing instead of quarantine and isolation. I wouldn't have to deal with airports. I could relax at home. I would save the money previously earmarked for excursions. I could do projects at home that I've been ignoring. I will be able to avoid potential costs of airports closing and needing to change flights, or potential increased healthcare costs abroad. I'll have access to amazing hospitals in my home country. Staying home and not going on vacation is the best thing that ever happened to me, because I have access to family, friends, and resources now in my community. I can decrease the risk of contracting the virus by staying home. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I am informed. I make sound choices for me and my family. I am responsible, wise, and knowledgeable. I am calm, relaxed, and alignment with my decisions and choices. I make choices based on the information I have at the time. I'm doing what feels loving to me and my family by providing a safe, healthy environment for me and my family. Staying home improves my health by decreasing my stress and by not exposing myself to risk of getting the virus. I'll get more sleep at home, not going out socially. Staying home increases family time because I'll be spending more intimate time with the kids. So these 7 steps, what they do is they help to draw me back into alignment where I can perceive the present moment from a space of clarity, where I can observe what is happening outside of me and filter out the facts. It's where I can openly discern between educated recommendations and fear-based suggestions. It's where I can make loving, aligned choices for myself and those around me. Ultimately, it's where we can all move through the consequences of a pandemic or canceled travel plans and maintain a state of peace and calm. You've been listening to Lori Brandt, the Happiness Coach. If you enjoyed the program, please go to iTunes and follow, rate, or leave a comment. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, life coach certification, go to my website, loribrandt.com, or perhaps even attending our Unleash Your Greatness conference so greatness can reflect back in beautiful Ridgeway, Ontario at the Buffalo Canoe Club on the shores of Lake Erie. You can learn more at www.unleashmygreatness.com.